coming up on BCN today. A court case involving alleged sex assaults dating back to the 80s is underway in Lethbridge. Plus, strategies for combating the drug crisis in our city. And federal Green Party leader Elizabeth May steps down as leader of her party.
Your Canada. Your Southern Alberta. Your stories. From our studios in the heart of Lethbridge, it's BCN Today with Jeanette Roche.
Hello, and thanks for joining us today. Emergency crews responded to a 3-vehicle crash northwest of Pincher Creek last evening. Crow's Nest Pass RCMP said the collision happened on Highway 22 and Range Road 21, south of the Maycroft Bridge. Police did not say when the crash occurred, but said officers were on the scene as of 9 p.m. last night. There was no word on injuries. RCMP say traffic was rerouted to the intersection of Highway 22 and Highway 3, and that the traffic north of the crash was redirected towards Highway number 2. After close to 13 years as leader of the Green Party of Canada, Elizabeth May is stepping down. She announced Monday, however, that she is staying on as a parliamentary leader of the Green Party caucus.
I wanted to choose a moment when we had had a lot of success before leaving. And we have a leadership race already planned and a convention planned. We achieved more than 1 million votes for the first time ever. We have 3 elected MPs in a first-past-the-post voting system. And I'm very close to my Green Party colleagues around the world. There is no other country with first-past-the-post that has achieved as much in the Green Party as we have in Canada. I'm not stopping my work. The climate crisis is as critical as ever. So I'm not going away as part of a political force and a political movement in this country to get real climate action, which none of the other parties, lamentably, not one of them, understands the urgency and is prepared to do what needs to be done.
Deputy Leader Joanne Roberts takes over as interim leader. May says she promised her daughter that the 2019 election would be her last as party leader. The group, which wants to see the West separate, applied to become a registered party yesterday. Peter Downing of the group Wexit says he filed the paperwork with Elections Canada, and even though they only needed 250 signatures, they actually gathered closer to 500 of them. Elections Canada says it's beginning the verification process for the application. BCN's Hal Roberts asked Downing why so many Albertans want out of the Confederation.
Well, a number of reasons. If you look at the oil downturn, the price of oil, obviously that's our bread and butter of our economy in Alberta. We lost over 100,000 jobs in that time, and we've been kicked on every side, whether it be through pipeline moratoriums with Bill C-69, tanker bans with Bill C-48, a completely unfair equalization program that we send over taxation equalization, we send over $40 billion a year to Ottawa. We've put in $622 billion since the beginning of the equalization program. And all we're being told is that our oil is dirty, that we're being, ungrateful little children, that type of thing.
About 700 people reportedly attended a separatist rally in Edmonton over the weekend. A case involving 4 counts of sexual assault and a count of sexual interference dating back more than 40 years got underway in Lethbridge Monday. The case involves a man from Raymond who was 18 when the alleged incidents began, and one of them involved a minor. Ainsley O'Reilly was at the Lethbridge Provincial Courthouse with the details.
A Raymond man pleaded not guilty to multiple charges of sexual assault dating back to the 1980s. It's day 1 at the Lethbridge Courthouse, and today we heard from an RCMP member who was assigned to the case back in 2016. She recalled the process of collecting impact statements of the multiple accusers.
Lethbridge City Council heard from the Coalition on Opioid Use in our city. Numerous partners, including Alberta Health Services and Lethbridge Police, spoke at the Community Issues Committee meeting at City Hall. All partners provided a different strategy for targeting the drug crisis.
I would express my frustration that the things that we need, we've been asking for some time. We need a dedicated Crown prosecutor. How long is that going to take? so we can effectively prosecute drugs. We need a safe communities and neighborhoods permanent unit in Lethbridge so we can shut down drug houses and stop the supply. How long is that going to take? We need the supports in the city of Lethbridge that are available in the larger cities of Calgary and Edmonton.
At the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We might be advocating in different ways. Our messaging might be a little bit different, but the outcome that everybody wants is exactly the same.
The province to help us support through our contract another full-time ambulance. It's something that we feel is needed in the city, just mostly because not only do we find that we're doing more of these calls that are related to the opioid crisis and other drugs, but we also have a duty to our community and the people that live here.
We have dedicated resources to deal with drug-specific investigations, and I know that the chief and the executive of the police service is currently looking at other strategies in dealing with the drug issues in Lethbridge and the surrounding region, and that's something that we're meeting regularly in the next month to look at.
The community groups also spoke about the increase of methamphetamines as opposed to opioid drugs. The Kainai Transition Center also stopped by City Hall Monday. The group thanked the city for helping to foster employment opportunities for Indigenous people. Former Blood Tribe Chief Charles Weaselhead spoke about the impact the drug crisis has had and how many of the city's most vulnerable have gotten off of drugs and found good jobs.
What we're trying to reach is the ones that are most vulnerable right now, perhaps haven't been employed for a number of years, perhaps, that they haven't gone through the education system, where they can easily adapt into jobs, and some that are over 30. We have some younger ones, but we're open to anybody that's committed, that's willing to be trained, that's willing to perhaps go off of our community to get employment, So those are the kind of things, that we need to contend with.
The city of Lethbridge has recently employed 15 people with the assistance of the Kainai Transition Center. Mothers Against Drunk Driving Lethbridge brought the community together to kick off its annual Red Ribbon campaign. Organizers say the struggle to bring down impaired driving incidents across the country means they have to take every opportunity they can to raise awareness of its lasting impact, especially with the upcoming Christmas season.
Even a small amount of alcohol or cannabis can impair your ability to drive. We ask that you call an Uber or a cab, arrange for a designated driver, or stay the night. If someone you know has been drinking, do not let that person get behind the wheel. Take their keys and arrange for a sober ride home for them. They will thank you. We can all help prevent impaired driving and make our roads safe this holiday season and all year long.
We're certainly going to be supporting of the project. We're going to be out in full force again as the Christmas season and the holidays approach with check stops. We'll be out checking for impaired drivers. And then the other thing that we're going to do today is we're probably going to partner with MAD and display our red ribbons on our marked police vehicles as well.
The Red Ribbon campaign is in its 32nd year and is on from now until January 6th. 5 people were arrested following a drug bust in Medicine Hat. The 3-month investigation wrapped up on October 24th when Alert's Medicine Hat Drug Organization crime team searched a house in Brooks. Police found more than 700 grams of methamphetamines, 93 grams of cocaine, a rifle, a machete, and close to $25,000 in cash. The 5, all in their 30s, face various charges, including drug possession, drug trafficking, and unauthorized possession of a firearm. The province has announced that a Mental Health and Addictions Advisory Council has been created to improve access to addiction prevention, treatment, and recovery services. As part of the government's commitment, $140 million will be invested over the next 4 years to improve mental health, illness, and addiction. In a statement released Monday, Pat Nixon, co-chair of the Mental Health and Addictions Advisory Council, said, "We will strengthen the recovery continuum and give hope to Albertans who are struggling with mental illness and addiction. Recovery will take a front seat in our journey to a healthy and prosperous Alberta." The UCP's health budget is just over $22 billion, for 2019 and 2020. New numbers from Stats Canada show the number of Canadians between the ages of 18 and 29 who are not working, training, or studying has remained relatively stable at around 13% for the past 2 decades. However, these young people are at a risk of persistent social and economic challenges as a result of their situation. The agency says these Canadians are more likely to have poorer mental and physical health, suicidal thoughts, and lower levels of life satisfaction. Doctors in Thailand have implanted an epidural stimulator into the spine of the paralyzed Humboldt Broncos bus crash survivor in hopes it will restore Ryan Strechnitsky's movements. The 20-year-old from Airdrie is to remain in Thailand until early December. The surgery can cost up to $100,000 but isn't covered by healthcare or insurance. It's also performed in countries such as the United States and Switzerland, but it's much cheaper in Thailand. 4 days after a fierce windstorm knocked down trees and power lines, leaving close to 1 million people in the dark, about 25,000 Hydro-Quebec customers are still without electricity. But the utility says it hopes to have everyone back on the grid today. Hydro-Quebec says the damage from the storm Friday was so severe in some places, entire segments of the system are needing to be rebuilt. Saskatchewan's Water Security Agency says drinking water is safe following a media report saying that there are higher than normal levels of lead in Canadian cities, including Regina, Moose Jaw, and Saskatoon. The agency's Patrick Boyle says older homes are the ones being questioned, noting they may have lead in their connector lines. Boyle says there are programs out there to replace those pipes. He also says each city has programs where homeowners can ask for a filter to protect their homes from water that comes through lead pipes. In a surprise announcement, U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to cut U.S. aid to California during wildfires that have burned across the state.
You got fires eating away at California every year because management is so bad. The governor doesn't know. He's like a child. He doesn't know what he's doing. And I've been telling him this for 2 years. They've got to take care of it. Every year, it's always California. It's rarely somebody else or someplace else. But Nancy Pelosi ought to go back to her district and take care of it because her district has become a mess. #1 in the country for going down. All she thinks about is impeachment, but she doesn't want to impeach. You know who wants to impeach? The people that run the party, the radical left.
Well, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas out there today. Flurries in Lethbridge today, but a high of 1 degree. Complete weather details are coming up right after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Here's a look at our weather highlights for today and tomorrow in Lethbridge. Today, periods of snow, but a high of 1 degree, a low of -15 overnight. Tomorrow, high of 6 degrees, but a mix of sun and cloud there. So not too bad. Looking ahead to the 5-day forecast, lots of sunshine in the forecast for Thursday with a high of 8 degrees, high of 7 degrees on Friday with a mix of sun and cloud. But the weekend's going to bring some snow back for us. Saturday, only a high of -7 and a high of only -10 on Sunday. But then the temperature will rise again on Monday to 0 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. So kind of a chilly, snowy weekend that we have to look forward to there. The average high this time of year, 7 degrees. The lowest temperature rather is -5. Highest temperature on this day was in 1975. It was 22 degrees. And the low was a chilly -27 in 2003. The sun rose this morning at 7:26 a.m. and will be setting this evening at 5:04 p.m. So right during the drive home from work, you'll notice the change in the sunlight there because of the change in time. Over to the west coast, Victoria and Vancouver, highs of 10 degrees today. Victoria, we'll see showers, clouds in Vancouver, mix of sun and cloud, but periods of snow in Edmonton with a high of -5, high of -1 in Calgary with snow as well there. The prairies, lots of flurries all over the prairies today. Saskatoon, a high of -6, high of -5 in Regina, and a high of -6 in Winnipeg as well. Snow in all 3 of those cities. Winnipeg will see a little bit of sunshine there too, though, along with the snow and the clouds. Toronto will see a mix of showers along with some sun and cloud. High of 9 degrees, high of 9 also in Ottawa, but lots of showers there. Showers as well in Montreal today with a high of 6 degrees. Looking over to the Maritimes, a mix of snow and rain in Fredericton today with a high of 11 degrees. Mix of sun and cloud up in Charlottetown with a high of 11 degrees. Sun and cloud also in Halifax with a high of 13, and over in St. John's, Newfoundland, we're going to see lots of sunshine over there with a high of 9 degrees. That's your forecast. Here's a look at what's happening in your community.
On Monday, November 11th, Remembrance Day ceremonies will be taking place at Exhibition Park beginning at 10 a.m., followed by a gathering at the Cenotaph at noon. Come in support of our brave veterans as we remember those who courageously fought for freedom. For details, visit lethbridgelegion.ca. A Victorian Prairie Christmas is taking place November 13th and 14th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Galt Historic Railway Park, north of Stirling, Alberta. Enjoy a beautiful and festive atmosphere featuring live entertainment, delicious food, and Christmas pudding with rum sauce. Admission is $20 for adults or $18 for groups of 5 or more. Pre-book today by calling Jeff DeBoer at 403-327-2854. For more information, visit galtrailway.com. Come for a festive evening to Crossroads Counseling Shine the Light Christmas Celebration and Fundraiser on Friday, December 6th, beginning at 6 p.m. at the Coast Lethbridge Hotel. Enjoy a full-course dinner, a silent auction, and live musical entertainment featuring the Freedom House Choir, West Side Choir, and the Evangelical Free Church Praise Choir. Tickets are $50 per person and can be purchased at the Crossroads Counseling Office. And that's your Bridge City News Community Calendar.
Well, if you don't like the taste of cough syrup, yuck, you're not alone. Today's daily life hack gives you the most delicious way to cure a sore throat. Make Jell-O, but instead of chilling it, microwave it for about 30 seconds, then add a teaspoon of honey. Warm gelatin will coat and soothe your throat, and honey's antimicrobial properties will help kill bacteria. And that's your daily life hack. Sounds kind of yummy. Check this out. A transit supervisor on a crowded train platform following Sunday's Oakland Raiders football game rescued a man who fell onto the tracks seconds before a train pulled into the station. The heroic act was caught on station surveillance video. Take a look.
You know, I saw him, I saw the headlights of the train, didn't think he was going to make it, so I just grabbed him and pulled him out. I just looked and it's like he's not going to make it, so, you know, I got to do something. There wasn't a lot of time to think. I mean, in my mind it all went down in slow motion, but I just grabbed him and pulled him out. And my honest opinion, he wasn't going to make it, and I couldn't watch it happen. You know, I don't know what to say, you know. I'd like to think that anybody else standing there would have done the same thing. God put me there for a reason, right? I guess. He got to go home. Hopefully he cures cancer or something. He seemed to be a young man, got a lot of life ahead of him, and hopefully it's a good one.
Amazing. More than 500 inmates walked out of the doors of prisons across Oklahoma on Monday as part of what state officials say is the largest single-day mass prison pardon in U.S. history. All have low-level drug and property crime convictions.
It's such an honor to be with my fellow Oklahomans outside the walls of Eddie Warrior Correctional Center. You know, 524 people were commuted across our state today and given second chances to leave your past behind and really bring our correctional facilities up to current law. Back in 2016, Oklahoma citizens voted to make some things, some minor drug offenses, misdemeanors, and we're only bringing it up to current law today. So let's give our fellow Oklahomans a claim.
Blessed, very blessed.
You saw her, what went through your mind?
I haven't seen them in almost 3 years, so a lot was going through my mind.
So you're getting a second chance now. What does that mean to you?
It means everything to me. I'm going to go out there and change my life and be a positive influence on my daughter.
As a child growing up in Tabor, Martin learned that his chances to lead a long life were slim. When he was just 2 weeks old, he had been diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. CF is a chronic and frequently fatal genetic disease of the body's lungs and digestive system. It's estimated that 1 in 3,600 kids born in Canada have CF, and the average lifespan is only 18 to 20 years of age. As BCN's Loris Alexander explains, Martin has exceeded that.
Life is mind over matter, and it's what you make of it. I've always been told from society that I can't do certain things, and I've always overcome them.
Martin de Vlieger always knew he could change his life and the life of many others. And he has. De Vlieger is a motivational speaker that travels worldwide, inspiring and encouraging people with cystic fibrosis to dream big. His message for everyone is simple.
Don't wait till the end of your life to live your life. Live your life now, because nobody knows what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow, you might not be here. And it's important that we don't waste any opportunities in life.
Despite it all, de Vlieger believes that having cystic fibrosis was a blessing in disguise that brought him a mission.
It's been a gift for me. It's given me opportunity to help other people with rare diseases and cystic fibrosis, encourage them to live their own lives, and not just to give up and literally die. Everybody has a path. I believe that my path was set for me to have cystic fibrosis. It's opened up a lot of opportunities for me, and I believe that I will continue to help other people with it until my time is over. I always wonder, now I have children, am I going to see them graduate? Am I going to see them get married? And it's something that's in our mind that never goes away, that a normal person who doesn't have a disease doesn't understand that.
For Bridge City News, I'm Loris Alexander.
Thank you, Loris. The company Maybelline has been around for a few generations. The family behind the company went through a lot of adversity and some tragedy. Up next, Hal Roberts chats with Sherry Williams, who is the great niece of Maybelline founder Tom Lyle Williams. And she's also the author of the book, The Maybelline Story and the Spirited Family Dynasty Behind It. That's after the break, so keep it right here.